Now, the way that this works is you should have already received your username and password from the club, but if you haven't received that, you can contact us at any time. We'll be able to give you that information. I'll make sure that I give you our contact information near the end of the call. Now, before I talk about how to use this program, I do want to talk about why you should use this program. First thing is, everything I'm about to show you, everyone on the call already has access to free of charge because the club has already picked up the cost of this. So just by being at the club that you're at, you have an advantage by getting everything I'm about to show you for free. So that is a really good reason to want to use this. But through this process, you're going to have to start building things like profiles, highlight videos, keep track of all your correspondence, and be able to do research. And College Fit Finder lets you do all of that in one spot. So basically all you have to do is go to collegefitfinder.com, click log in. It's going to take you to a new page where you can put in your username and password. Now, first thing you want to make sure of is that your username is spelled correctly, because it should just be your first and last name, all lowercase and no spaces for the most part, but there could be a number or something like that at the end. But let's just say you go through this entire process, fill out your profile, you realize your name is spelled wrong. I would have to delete your account and you'd have to start all the way over. So make sure that your username is spelled correctly before you get started with this process. Once I click login, it's going to take you into your account. Now, the first thing that you want to do is you want to change your password because your username and password are the same. To do that, I just click where I see these three lines, go down to where it says account info, and it's going to take you to a new page where it says change password, and then I can enter the new password twice, and then I'll have a little bit more security on my account. Now, if I click on the profile tab, it's going to take me to my player profile. First thing that you notice is when you click on the profile tab, all of your tabs disappear. And the reason why that is because if you do send this to a college coach, you only want them to have access to the player profile and not those other tabs that we just saw. So that's why it gets rid of all these tabs, but I will show you how to get back to where all of those tabs are once we finish talking about the profile. Now, if I do want to send this to a college coach, all I have to do is copy and paste the URL at the top. If I put that in an email and a coach clicks on the link, now they're going to be able to navigate around using these tabs to be able to find out more about you. Now, under the word basic, there won't be a logo here. It'll just be a blank circle. First thing you want to do is click on that. It'll open up a new window so you can put in a file from your computer, a player profile picture. Make sure that your grad year is accurate. And then when you're all said and done, let's just say you commit to a university, you can actually put in the name of the university you committed to. Now, multiple things happen when you do that. First thing is you're going to see the logo show up of the university you committed to. This creates a team brochure for your team manager, and basically it'll say committed with a logo of the school on that automatically when you commit on your end. The last thing is we give out free accounts to college coaches, so we want to make sure that if you're committed, it says that, so college coaches aren't reaching out to players on the back end of the program. Now, it's really easy to change any information on your profile. You just click on something, you change the information. When you move on to a new line, it automatically saves it. Also, a lot of this information is just drop downs where you can select that, and then when you move on to a new line, it'll automatically save that information as well. I can go in here and put in my social media accounts. Now, I'm sure there's some players wondering, why would I want to put in my social media accounts? Now, through this process, college coaches will actually take their list of recruits and send them to companies that can actually go through the internet, social media, make sure they're not bringing any red flags or anything into their environment they don't want to bring in. Now, when that happens, sometimes kids lose scholarships, roster spots because of things that they find on their social media. So with that being said, if you're creating a ton of positive content, maybe every time you do something like a really good highlight, you put it on your social media, or you're really good at juggling and you put that, or you used to work with younger players when you were able to work with younger players before all this kind of stuff went down, and you put that on your social media. It's a great way for coaches to find out more about you. But if you're just trying to hide certain things, eventually they're going to find that because they do their due diligence. So make sure before you start this process, you go through your social media to make sure there's nothing on there you don't want coaches to see. Now, also under the personal statement, you can write basically about yourself as a soccer player, but you should be talking about other things that would help you stand out. So maybe you have really good grades or really good test scores, or you train 6 or 7 days a week, or you got this really good award that is very hard to get. I would put that information in here. Anything a coach would want to read and go, okay, I got to find out more about this player. Now, I can also put in my NCAA eligibility number. What this is if you want to play Division I or Division II, you need to go to the NCAA Eligibility Center. Costs around $90. You fill out a questionnaire, and it will give you a number when you're done. It basically says you're eligible to play at the Division I and Division II levels. If you do want to play at the Division I and Division II levels, number one, make sure you have a conversation with your coach to make sure that would be a good fit for you. But let's just say you do not want to play at those levels. I do not have to go to the Eligibility Center and fill that out because, again, that's only required for Division I and Division II. If you do want to play those levels, you should get it done by the end of your sophomore, beginning of your junior year. And the reason why that is because college coaches at those levels cannot contact you until June 15th after your sophomore year. So you want to make sure it's all done by the time they can start contacting you. Now, some people are probably wondering, okay, so should I wait to contact the coach at those levels if they can't contact me back until June 15th after my sophomore year? The answer is no. Once you finish your profile, once you go and have a good highlight video, and I'll talk about some other things that you need to make sure you do first, then you're ready to reach out. And even if they can't get back to you, maybe I have something really impressive on my profile or on my video, and now maybe I can get on a list of recruits or future recruits. So when they can reach out to you, now they will be interested to reach out to you and start recruiting you. So it is important, even if they can't get back to you, that you're thinking about reaching out to them if you're ready. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as I move forward. Now, under your video tab, this is where your highlight videos show up. This is not where you edit them. I will talk about all about the editing process, how to do that. But this is just where they show up on your player profile. For your athletics information, there's a ton of information here. I can put in any type of honors or accomplishments, or maybe you've been in a newspaper article, you scored a game-winning goal, sent your team to regionals, you can upload that, and then now the coach can see that information as they're going through your player profile. The academics information, I can upload my classes. As you can see, there's a ton of different stuff on each tab, and the reason why there's so much stuff is because there's hundreds of thousands of players throughout the country that want to play. So we're giving you the opportunity, if you're doing all this other stuff besides soccer, academics, volunteering, extracurriculars, whatever it might be, you're able to put all that stuff on your player profile to help yourself stand out from all these other players that want to play. So it is important you're really going through all this stuff and thinking about what I can put in my player profile so there's not a ton of blank spots. But if you do volunteer work, or honors or accomplishments you've received, or maybe, again, you're doing some sort of other club, put in all this information. Under your references, make sure you're putting in the contact information and also maybe how you know them. Now, the one thing I would make sure of is that all of your references know they're a reference. That way, if a college coach reaches out to them, they're ready to give you a good recommendation. What you don't want to happen is a college coach calls them, and the whole time they're saying, I'm sorry, who is this? Who are you talking about? So if you let them know they're a reference, now they're going to be ready to give you a good recommendation. The other thing is I want to make sure my contact information is up to date because, like I mentioned, college coaches have a free account. They can go in and say, I want to see all the 2022 center mids with a 3.5 GPA, and let's just say it pulls up your player profile, but there's no contact information in here. They're probably just going to move on to the next player. So it's important this stays up to date as well. The one thing you really have to remember is that your player profile is a continued work in progress. You want to update it as much as possible. You want to make sure that if your test scores, GPAs, all that stuff is changing, you want to make sure all of that is up to date so when a coach sees it, they know it's accurate. Now, I can also print out a one-page sheet of my player profile. I just click print. It downloads the PDF to my computer. Now I can pull up the one-page sheet. Now I can either print this out or download a PDF so if I want to attach it to an email. So I do have multiple ways to send this to a coach. Again, whether I print it, download the PDF, or under the overview tab, copy and paste that URL at the top. So there are multiple ways to send it to college coaches. Now, once you're done with your profile, just click on the CFF logo, and it's going to go back to where your tabs are. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the highlight videos and the video editing. Again, if you have questions about anything I'm going over, feel free to type those in. I'll make sure to answer questions as I'm going through this. Now, what you have to do first is you have to upload your footage to a platform like YouTube, Huddle, Vimeo, basically anything that's going to give you a share link. I'm going to use YouTube because it does work the best with the overlays. So I just upload it to that platform. I copy and paste the share link. One thing you have to make sure of is that your share link is, or that your video is public. If it's private, it will give you an error. So make sure that on whatever platform you're using, the setting is public, not private. Again, copy and paste the video. If you have 3 or 4 games you want to put in here, just continue to copy and paste in, and now you're going to be able to put in as many games as you want and edit them. Once you're ready, you just press start. It's going to start playing the first game that you put in. Now, if you're just uploading something, just click start highlight, let the whole video play through, then you'll click finish highlight and just save it. But let's just say you want to edit your own footage. All I have to do is click Start Highlight when I want to start recording something. Starts to record that part of the video. Now I let this part of the video play out. And once I want it to stop recording, I just click Finish Highlight. Now on the bottom, you're going to see a back arrow. When you hover over it, it says Previous Highlight. You click on that, it takes you back to the highlight you just created. Now I'm going to pause it. Whenever you pause it, you can add overlays or different things to the highlight. So again, I can let this go another second, then pause and add an overlay there, whatever you want to do with each highlight. So the first thing is it shows up on the right side over here. You put in just a description of what it is. Only you, the player, can see this. The coaches won't be able to see this, so feel free to put in a full description so you can make sure you're putting the video in the correct order once you have a bunch of highlights. Now under overlays, you can either spot shot of yourself, you can put words or an arrow. It's important that you make sure every single play coaches know who they're looking at. So you can use an arrow or a circle. Let's just say I want to put a circle around myself. Click on the circle, it shows up on the video. You put it around yourself, make it smaller. Again, you can insert an arrow, or maybe you just want to insert text, so I can insert like the word goal. Now I can take the word, move it to wherever I want. Now what will happen is it freezes your video for 1 to 2 seconds, puts a circle around you, and then puts the word goal. Then it continues to play the highlight that you created. Again, it's really important you make sure the coaches know who they're looking at, because let's just say you're making a run in here and they think this is you walking or something like that. Now, maybe if they can't figure out who they're looking at, they probably are just going to move on. So it's important that every play they know who they're looking at, especially if you have different jerseys, different numbers, whatever it might be. Make sure it's obvious to the coach who they're looking at. Now, once you're done, all I have to do is click on video selection. I'll select the next video, or I can go back to that same video, just a different part of it, and then just repeat that same process. So if this is you scoring, just click Start Highlight. It starts to record that part of the video. Again, feel free, if you have any goals like this, to put this in the first 5 or 10 seconds. That'll get some attention. And then I can click Finish Highlight. Remember, you click on the back arrow. You pause it when you want to add your overlays or description. And now you're just repeating that process over and over until you get enough for a highlight video. Now, where it says titles, I can also add titles. So if you want an introduction title, or maybe you just want, you know, a title that says goals or defense or whatever it might be, you can go in here and just type in the name. Word's going to show up. I can move it to the middle, make it a little bit bigger, and now I have a title. So to change the order of the video is really simple. You just click on something, you drag it, you drop it. Once you're done, all you have to do is save it. I can upload an image, change the name of the video. Now it is streaming off whatever platform you're using, but you can make it so that people can watch the full video and your highlights if you want. But let's just say maybe you're being a little lazy off the ball. You didn't want people to see that, so you only want them to see the highlights. Click there to disable watching full video so they can only see your highlights. Then when you publish it, it'll automatically post to your player profile. Now, if you send that player profile link like I showed you to a college coach, they're going to be able to access the video. But let's just say you just want to send this video to somebody. Click on the play button. Click on the play button one more time. And in the right corner, there's these 3 dots that will give you a link to send the video you created outside of College Fit Finder. So whether you send your player profile, whether I just send the link of this specific video, you have multiple ways to send those to coaches. Now, one thing I really like about this part of the platform is I can edit existing videos. So let's just say I didn't have very much footage and I could only create 30 seconds and I want to add to that. Or, you know, maybe it's been a year since you created this and you have a bunch more footage and you've developed over that year, so you want to put in your better highlights. All I have to do is click Edit on any video, and it takes you right back to where you were in the video. So now if you just need to make changes, you just go in here. You can just click drag and drop like we talked about, or if you just want to watch some of your old highlights or adjust them or delete them, you can make whatever changes you need to this video. If you want to add new videos that are more current, under video selection, just click on the plus sign, copy and paste in the new share links, and those videos will show up. So very easy to add new footage, change things around if you made a mistake or if you just want to improve your video. And that's what you should be doing anyway, because if it's been a year or 2 since you've created a video, it's important that you are putting all of your newest plays, because again, you're probably developing over those years that you're playing soccer. So make sure you're putting the most up to date and it's not from 2 or 3 years ago. Now, once you're done, again, just save it, publish it, and then whatever you change will automatically post to that video. Now the next part is the recruiting tab, and if you haven't signed in before and you sign in for the first time, it automatically takes you to the colleges tab, but we actually now have a pop-up that forces you to go and fill out your preferences. And the reason why we do that is for a couple reasons. Number one, college coaches can search off your preferences, so we want to make sure that if a college coach is searching for a player looking for their division or location or school size and it matches you, your player profile can get pulled up in that search. But if you don't fill this out, there's no way to pull that sort of data when the coach is using the preferences search. Now, when I go to each specific college page, it gives me a match based on my information, and part of that is my preferences as well. I will explain that a lot better when I go to the college page. The other thing is that your club coaches and other people that are trying to help you, if they can make sure that they know your preferences, maybe they can't get a hold of you and they're about to talk to a coach and they're like, I'm not sure if they want to play D2 or D3 or whatever division it is, and they go in here and they realize, okay, they do want to play those divisions, I'll call that coach back and talk to them. Whatever it is, just make it easier for people to help you as well. Now, under the colleges tab, oh, one more thing. If you have no preference about what your preference is, you can just click no preference and it allows you to move on once you fill them all out. Now, under the college tab, this is the most important part of the program because it allows you to do multiple things. It allows you to put in what you're looking for in schools, and it's going to pull up a list to show you what match those schools and what you're looking for. And then also it allows you to go in and do research. So that way you can figure out, okay, is this a school that I want to go to? Is it going to be a good fit for me? And now if I'm putting schools on my list that match everything I'm looking for, my process is going to be a lot more successful than if I'm looking based on division or, oh, I like the way this logo looks or one of my friends is going there. So it is important you're doing the research. And then the other thing is when I do contact a coach, if I've done the research and I know why I want to go to their school, I can add that to my email and that can help you stand out as well. So very important here, regardless of whether you want to play in college or if you just want to go to college for academics, this part of the program will help you. So if, again, maybe you're uncertain, I think I want to play, but I'm not sure, this part will help you regardless. So you should really live on this tab. Now, I like to search based off of fit. I'll explain why in a second. But you can search off of other things, but I'll explain the fit score in a second. But I can search if I'm looking for a specific school, you just type it in. You just put in men or women's soccer, it'll change all the schools to men or women's soccer. I can search per division. I can search based off of the team rating. This is based off the last 3 years record. So if you don't want to play for a team that's 1-19 every year, you can just take the team rating and scroll it up. The higher the team rating, the better their win-loss record has been over the last 3 years. I can search based off my GPA or test scores. I can search based off of power ranking. I will explain this a lot better when I go to the college page in a second. Now I can search off of different parts of the country. So let's just say you want to play on the East Coast. You also want to play on the West Coast. And then maybe you have family in Colorado, so you want to see schools in Colorado as well. So I can do as many different parts of the country or states as I want. It's automatically going to filter as well. Now, there's two types of majors. The top one is called the major category. So let's just say you're a player that you think you know what you want to do, but you're not quite sure. Maybe I want to do something related to business. So if I were to type in business, it's going to give me business, but it also gives you a bunch of other majors related to business. So if you're not quite sure what you want to do, it could give you an idea of looking for new majors and different things like that. So that just allows you to get a bunch of majors related to whatever you think you're looking for. Now, the second one where it says major, this allows you to type in the exact name. So if I know I want to be an accounting major, you type in that name or whatever it might be, you click on it to make sure that school has your major. So whether you know exactly what you want to do or you have an idea or you're not quite sure, you can search based off of areas of study. I can search based off of the size of school, any type of affiliations or settings, and then I can also search off of total cost. So that's not just tuition, it's, you know, room and board, books, all of that. So if I can't afford $60,000, I can just take this and scroll this down. Now, what you're going to see is you're going to see a fit score. What this is saying is based off my filters, this school is a 92% fit for me. So as I scroll down, I'm going to lose some of my fit score based on different information. So if I want to find out more about a school, just click on the card. Shows up on the right side. It's going to show you the average GPAs, test scores, the division. This is the team rating, which again was based off the last 3 years record. Just gives you a snapshot of the school. Let's just say you go in here and realize, okay, well, this head coach left a week ago, a month ago, whatever it might be. At any point, if you see a mistake, just click report coaching change, type in wrong coach. It'll send us an email and then we will make the change within 24 hours. So if you see a mistake, make sure that you notify us. We'll make the change so you can reach out to the coach. But we keep our database pretty up to date because, again, we go through by hand, but also any player or coach can do that as well. Now, if you want to find out more info about the school, just click more info. It takes you into a college page. Now, we created our own college pages because sometimes university websites can be complicated. You can't find what you're looking for. So we created our own to make it easier on the student athlete. So I mentioned the power ranking. What this is based off of is three things. It's based off the academics of the school, the division that they play in, and the team ranking, which was based off the last 3 years' record. So hypothetically, a Division III school could be a higher power ranking than a Division I school if the Division III school went 21-1, has good academics, and the Division I school went 1-19 and doesn't have good academics. So an overall snapshot based off of those things. This information is based off of you. So it's saying the school I'm looking at is a 60% match for me based off my profile and my preferences. Now going back just really quickly, remember this number, the fit score, is based off of your filters. This score is based off of you, and it will change per school you go to. But if I don't fill out my profile very well, or if I don't really do a good job filling out my preferences, this number won't be accurate. Now, as I go through and do the research, and I go through the applying information, all the admissions, everything's laid out really easy for you to find what you're looking for. But on the left side, you're going to notice a bunch of suggestions. So what it is saying is based off the school you're looking at, here's some other schools that could be a good fit for you. So if you've never heard of the school, you want to find out more, just click on the name. It takes you to that college page. As I go through all of the information, like the academics, the majors and classes, you're going to see this list shuffle every time I click up here. So it should give you a good look of schools that maybe you've never heard of, the financial information, scholarships, financial aid, tuition and expenses, team information. I can go to their websites, just quickly talking about why you'd want to go to their athletic website. If you really want to go to a school, they're in your top 10 or 15, you should go on their athletic website, not only do research, but fill out the recruiting questionnaire. Because if you do that, you get put in their database, and the college coach actually gets an email through their own email, which says, this player filled out the recruiting questionnaire. Now, let's just say I do that, and then I follow up with an email, and then maybe even a phone call. Now that coach may have heard my name 2 or 3 times. It also lets them know that I'm willing to, take an extra 10 minutes to get my information there because I'm really serious about going to their school. So again, if you got 100 schools on your list, do not fill out 100 of them, but fill out the top 10, 15. I mean, it could help you stand out. We're trying to do all these little things in your process to help you stand out. It's not just one big thing that's going to get you recruited. It's all these other things that are going to get you attention. Now, going through here, I can see the last 3 to 5 years record, staff information. I can reach out to the coaches. Now, if I like a school, all I have to do is click on the heart, and it sends it to my favorites list. So now I can start building a list based off of the research I've been doing. So now, like the school that I just put on there, let's just say I want to make this school number 3 or 4 on my list. I can just take the card and drag it and drop it, and now it orders it based off your preference. So now you can put the schools in order of how bad you want to go to them. But now one other feature that we've created to help you get more exposure is if a college coach has a free account through us and you put your or their school on your favorites list, they have a tab that says likes our school. Your player profile goes in that tab. So now they're, a top D1 school probably has 2,000, 10,000 players in it, probably won't help you. But there's a lot of schools that may have 5 or 10 or 15 players on a list, and now that can help you. But I do want to be clear. Just because I'm on a short list of 5 or 10 players does not mean I'm going to get recruited. Just because a coach is using our system doesn't mean you're going to get recruited. I still have to have a good profile, a good video to help myself stand out if I am on a short list. So think about all those things. Don't just think about, okay, well, I'm on a short list, coaches use this, I'm totally going to get recruited. You still have to push your process forward, and you still have to make sure you're the one driving this process. Everyone's here to help you, but you as a player, you have to be the one moving it forward. Now, if you do more research and you realize I don't like this school anymore, you can take it off your list just by clicking the heart again, refresh it, and the school will just be removed from your favorites list. Again, make sure that you're keeping this list up to date because I mentioned the likes our school. So if you like the school your freshman year and then all of a sudden you don't like that school anymore, take them off your list. That way, if you're on like a list of 5 or 10 players, that way the coach isn't reaching out to you and you have to say, oh, sorry, coach, I'm not interested anymore. But keep this list up to date. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is reaching out to coaches. So I've already made sure I've filled out my profile, have a good profile with a bunch of information. I have a good video that's going to help me stand out. I've made sure to fill out my preferences. I've gone in here, I've done the research so that when I am reaching out to coaches, all the schools I know are a great fit for me and I know why I want to go to those schools. Now when I reach out to a coach, especially if I'm talking to a ton of coaches, it's going to be hard to keep track of all of your correspondence. So by using this part of the system to put in all of your emails and phone calls and stuff, you're going to be able to do something like, for example, let's just say you get a call from a coach. Haven't talked to them in a while, I forget what we talked about. If you just type in the name of the school here, it'll filter to show you all of the correspondence that you've had with that school. So you can just go in your last couple emails, think about or look about what you talked about, and then now I can have a great conversation with a coach. But most importantly, you're not going to bring in a conversation from another coach or mix things up between one coach and another. So this way, it's going to make, again, help you stand out because I'm remembering things from our last couple conversations. Again, all of these things can help you, a coach, be impressed by you. Again, you're going to want to have a lot of conversations with coaches through this process because they're trying to get to know you. It's not going to be they show up at the field, they see you play, they love you, that's it. Nope, they're going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to ask you questions. You're going to ask them questions, and you're going to have a lot of conversation. It's important to keep track of all these things. Now, there's two ways to add in your information. First way, the plus sign up here. If I click on that, let's say you have a phone call or an email, you put in the date, you type in the name of the college that you spoke to. Was it a phone call? Was it an email? Did they call you? Did you call them? Now you just type in notes or copy and paste your email. Once you save it, now it will save it in here and then I can search for it in the future. Now you can also email through the system. You can email one program at a time. To do that, I just select men or women's soccer. It changes the schools to men or women's soccer. Select the envelope. Now you can select one college to email. Shows you all the coaches. Now, again, when I go in here and I type in something for an email for a coach, I am talking about why you're interested in the school. Don't talk about yourself unless, again, there's a really big award you got or something that really helps you stand out. That's okay to put that in there. But you should be talking about why you want to go to their school because that will let them know right away, hey, coach, I've done the research. I know I want to go to your school. It's not just, hey, coach, come watch me play. I think you're going to love me. I'm a great player. Because your player profile is going to have all that info, and that should kind of do the talking. You tell them why you want to go to their school, if you have questions for them, that kind of stuff in the email, and that, again, is going to be better than, here's my profile, I'm a great player, check me out. So really do your research, add that information in there. Hey, coach, I want to be a business major, and I know you guys are a top 25 business school, so, I definitely want to go to your school. Whatever it is, make sure you do the research before you reach out to coaches. Add your player profile right here. When I press next, this is what it looks like when you send it to the system. It has your information, your picture, it'll have your name, grad year, GPA, position, club you play for with your email, player profile, and then your contact information. Now, if you email through the system, it looks exactly like this. So if 50 players email one coach in one day, instead of receiving 50 emails, they receive 3 summary emails. It looks exactly like this. They can still see everything you've written in there. But if you do not want to be on a summary email, you email through your own email, and then you click on that plus sign to manually enter it. If you are emailing through the system and you press next, it will automatically track it for you in your activity. So you email through your own email, manually do it by clicking on the plus sign. You email through the system, it will track it for you. And you can also see if any of your coaches have conversations and add those in on their end. It will show up here as well. Now, I know I've talked about a ton of different things here, but under the support tab, there's tutorial videos of every section of College Fit Finder. So if you just want to watch a 2-minute video to find out more, again, you'll get the recording at the end of this. Under Contact Us, we are always here to help you. So if you need help with just maybe something's not working right, or you need your username and password, or whatever it might be, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help you. Tech support, customer service, anything to do with College Fit Finder, we're always here. Now, the last thing is on the club website under Programs. If you go down to College Fit Finder and click on that, it's going to take you to something we call the Fit Box. Just an announcement, the club is providing this for the high school age players. There's tutorial videos, login instructions. Now, we put together 28 videos about the recruiting process talking about different things. So if you want to find out more, you can watch a video to find out more. Now, under resources, and we'll just have to get this fixed. We just got to widen the thing. But under resources, if you click there, what's going to happen is it's going to show you everything you need for the process. So I mentioned the Eligibility Center. If I just click on that, it's going to take me right to the Eligibility Center. So if I need to fill out a FAFSA form, or maybe I want to go to a private university and I want to fill out the CSS financial form, whatever I need for the process, it's all right here. Just click on the title, it takes you to it. Now that's pretty much it for the tutorial. It doesn't look like anyone had any questions up to this point, but maybe you do have questions now. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to type those in. While I'm waiting to see if anyone has any questions, I am going to give you 2 emails. The first one is support@collegefitfinder.com. And then my email is just Jeff, spelled G-E-O-F-F, @collegefitfinder.com. Now, you can email me, support, whatever you need help with. We are always here to help you. If you come up with a question that you, all of a sudden, as you're going through it, feel free to reach out to us. Again, that's pretty much it. I really appreciate everyone's time. You're going to get an email at the end, and it will have the recording in it. So if you need to go over something, you can. But again, I'll wait around to see if anyone has any questions. But if not, have a great rest of your day. And thank you for being on our call today. Thanks, everybody.